Hey, it's Coach Seana, and I am here at the whiteboard with another lesson. If you haven't caught some of the other whiteboard lessons, check them out. I've had this up here for a while, and typically what I do is I put the whiteboard up. My clients look at it for a little bit, and then I'll do a video about it, and then I'll wipe it clean, and we'll start with another topic. So I've had this up here for a while about self-sabotage because clients often talk to me about how they failed or they didn't do anything right and they're different than others and they don't understand why they keep going back to behaviors that they decided that they didn't want to do anymore, and they've shared that they don't want to do anymore. So I figured I'd do a little bit about this. So why do we self-sabotage? Even when we want to be healthy or we want to quit a habit or we want to be focused or consistent, we can often get in our own way. That is what we call self-sabotage. And it is definitely a lot more common than you think. I meet with a lot of people and we all do it in shades of gray. So welcome to being a human, as I always say, if you can relate. So self-sabotage is often rooted in old habits and conditioning. So one of the biggest ones that I can relate to and see other people do is within their family. If they've had a habit that their family did consistently, then even if they're trying to separate from that, in many ways, doing that habit keeps us attached to our family. And so our subconscious thinks, I will allow myself to be a part of that family by continuing these habits, even if up here we're saying, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z anymore. So that is a big one. And old habits are hard to change. Any change is going to be difficult. So another reason is fear of failure or fear of success. We all fear failure to some degree. And it's not until we can get out of our comfort zone and say, you know what, I don't care if I fail. And as a matter of fact, many people say that successful people are not afraid to fail. They fail many times before they actually are, quote, successful, which is a whole nother topic because success can be measured in various ways. Doubt in our ability to change. So if we don't think we can change, we might never try, and thus we don't even really attempt to, and we're still self-sabotaging. Feeling overwhelmed or unsupported. I think this is probably a big one. So a lot of times I see people make a new goal, or they're trying to change a habit and they've just got so much going on in their life, or they've got a lot of trauma, or they've got too much stress at work and it just becomes too much. So this is definitely very, I would say, relatable to a lot of people. Family attachment to habits, subconscious. So I talked a little bit about that up here. And then lack of internal self-love. So that is probably another big one. We show ourselves love through our behaviors. And even if they are rooted in old habits or patterns or family attachment styles, if we can get out of that and we can start loving ourselves through how we treat our body, then we can start feeling better about ourselves, and then the overwhelm will go away, and then we'll stop self-sabotaging less, and we'll start self-sabotaging less and less. Our brains are wired for comfort and safety, not growth. So when we step outside our comfort zone, even with good intentions, the brain quietly pulls us back with distractions, excuses, or unhealthy patterns. So it's very difficult to get out of your comfort zone. We want to be safe. We want to be supported. It's a root chakra issue. And so if we've gotten comfortable in a habit, even if it's something like drinking too much or eating processed foods or, getting used to not working out, once we go to make that change, even before we start the new habit, the brain gets a little worried. Oh my God, what's going to happen here? I've never been doing this before. I've always been eating this way, or I've always been having a drink at night. So it's very concerning for the subconscious. So notice when you are uncomfortable and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Allow yourself to feel that and then practice that every single day and see what happens. Goal setting matters. So if you have a habit that you don't want to do, it's really, really, really important that you set the goal for what that habit is and be specific. So vague goals like get healthy or lose weight are just simply not going to cut it. And that's why I set SMART goals with my clients and sit down and we go through it, because that's how you can be successful. If you don't give your brain a clear direction, it's not going to know where it's going to go, and it's going to get uncomfortable just even in the confusion of that state. This is why having a coach helps. They can help you set SMART goals. They help you stay accountable when motivation dips. They break the cycle of starting to see results and then falling off. And they can invite you to look at things in a different way, which I think is really important. So when clients come in and they tell me, oh, well, I wanted to start, getting rid of sugar and I had it last night, so I failed. Well, it's the difference between going back to that habit just because you failed once and someone saying to you, hey, that's okay. How did you feel after you had that? Well, I didn't feel good. Okay, well, can we focus on that? Can we start over next Monday? Maybe not today, maybe your body's not ready, but can we start next Monday? Or when do you think a good day is? And so having those conversations with the coach is really important. It does help create structure and simplify the path. It reflects your strengths back to you. It reminds you why you started. And sometimes the most powerful thing a coach can do is hold belief in you until you hold belief in yourself. I think I say that probably 5 to 10 times a week. Hey, look, I believe in you more than you believe in you. And the goal is to get you there. And that comes with language and how you speak to yourself. It comes with, how you set your SMART goals, really, really important, so that you're setting yourself up for success. Just know that self-sabotage to some degree is normal. However, and it can save us, which is a whole nother video. However, if you start looking at it and examining it without judgment, it can change. So I'm Coach Seana. I'm here. If you've got anything that you've been self-sabotaging, I'd be happy to help you. Have a great day.